Hello there. So a bit of a weird one. I'm going to review these Hafele soft close hinges and show you how to install them. So why am I going to do that? Well, have you got a kitchen cupboard where whenever you shut the door or somebody shuts the door, it makes a horrible banging noise? I don't know, it just really jars with me. I'm not sure why you would have kitchen cupboards that slam when soft close hinges are so easy to fit and so cheap to buy. So I got about exactly 22 hinges for £34 from eBay. I could have got them from somewhere like Screwfix. I will leave a link down below, by the way, to these if you're interested, an affiliate link if you want to get these for yourself. It's £1.50 each, basically. So for a cupboard with two hinges on it, you can replace them for £3 and have a much better door closing experience. It's just much more civilized. In fact, it is quite a good way to kind of take a tired old kitchen. My kitchen is, I think, a sort of 90s kitchen. Just bring it up to date a little bit. So at the moment, I've got these really old knackered hinges on these cupboard doors. So I'm going to take the cupboard doors off using, well, my advice is actually to use something like a drill on a screwdriver setting, because I did that and my hands ached and have got blisters on them. Maybe I'm just weak and pitiful. But yeah, using a screwdriver, there's a lot of screws to undo because it's kind of 4 screws per door just to get them off. So anyway, once you got them off, it was a bit of a challenge actually to remove the old hinges. I've got this weird kind of mechanism where actually there isn't a screw to take out. There's a sort of bladey thing that grinds into the wood, so you have to just wind that back a little bit, wiggle the hinge, and it comes out. But hopefully yours will be more straightforward than this. Now, these are 110-degree hinges, which is to do with how much they open. I think there are several different types of hinges, but generally if you've got just a normal cupboard door and it looks a bit like this, what you've got in there, these are quick release actually. That's another advantage of these. So whereas I'm having to unscrew the doors to get them off on my current doors, there is actually like a button that you lift here and it just separates. So you can actually just take the doors off by pressing these little buttons. So once I've got the old ones off, it's literally just a case of slotting the new ones in. This seems to be a sort of standard size for cupboard doors. It's important to put them on straight, otherwise if you've got kind of wobbly, I didn't do them that straight, but I did them straight enough. I would use an awl actually to prepare the hole before you put the screw in, otherwise you end up like the screw ends up moving around. So once you've got both hinges installed on your door, you then have to put the receptacle end in your cupboards, and again make sure you get these the right way around. First time I put them the wrong way around, so I think the cupboard, the actual hinge when you're putting the door on, if you imagine my hand is the door, when you attach it to the hinge there's like a hook, I don't know if you can see that, a hook that goes under there like that, and then it clips on. So in your cupboard you'll want that end next to where the door is going to be and that end facing away from the door. And actually the previous holes from the old hinges are exactly the same as the holes for these, so I was able to just put these in, tighten them up. Once you've got them up, maybe you find that they're not quite right, maybe you'll find they're a sort of dodgy angle or something. Under this little plate here, these are the adjustment screws. So I'm going to just quickly show you how to adjust these hinges because it's quite important, otherwise you'll have wonky cupboards. So firstly, this screw here is for moving the hinge this way and this way, so this axis here. If you've got a cupboard that is too close to another cupboard at the top or at the bottom or too far away, you can adjust that screw at the bottom or the top to kind of bring them in line. There's also this one here, which is actually backwards and forwards. This isn't so much when you look at the cupboard from the front, but if you look at the cupboard from the side and find that at the top it's further away from the kind of cupboard recess, if you want to call it, than the bottom one, then you can use that to move it closer or further away. And there is also one other setting as well. So if your cupboard door itself is too high or too low, you've got a little bit of vertical movement, using this screw here, which will slide the whole plate up and down relative to these screws. And you can tell that that's the case because, like, if you look at the screw hole there, there's enough space for those two screws for this whole plate to kind of move up and down, and those screws to remain in the same place. So it's really easy actually to adjust these cupboard doors. I had to adjust one temporarily to get the door in, because obviously it requires a little bit of maneuverability to be able to hook that on there, which I didn't need to do, or the person who installed the previous hinges didn't need to do. He just screwed them into the cupboard. So I did have to do a little bit. I think I had to move the whole hinge that way in order to hook it on, and then once I'd got it all on, I then adjusted it so that it was in the right position. Took me a good couple of hours to install all these hinges. It's just a little bit time consuming. It seems like a really quick job, but you know, I'd say it probably takes about 5 minutes per hinge to do everything, and 5 times 22 is like 110 minutes. So that's like nearly 2 hours, isn't it? And you stop a little bit, survey your work and have a cup of coffee or something. So yeah, anyway, brand new soft close hinges, really easy to install and adjust, and transformational in terms of using your kitchen. So there we go. I'll leave a link to those down below. I don't know how I'm going to have engagement on this video. Have you got soft close hinges, or are you going to buy soft close hinges? Please buy them from the link down below if you do. Anyway, thanks to my loyal patrons who are scrolling down the screen now, especially Georgeford, Magnanimous Meg, Jennifer Jones, and Rob Van Eden. And they are extremely generous patrons. Thank you very much indeed. Every little help, well, actually every lot helps, because you guys are extremely generous. Anyway, I'll see you next time for another video.